Shalom, Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, I get all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the honors of the apostles, the elders, a great millstone, who grew well, and peace and blessings to that hopeful elect that spreads the great gospel and sincerity and truth. The Shabbat Tazakai Yahweh from the great millstones in the Annapolis camp. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Lord will be edifying. Got an article here from the Sun.com, and it reads, Putin on the blitz. Putin's top ally Dmitry Medvedev warns of World War III if UK troops are sent to Ukraine and says they'd be destroyed. When this was published October 1st, 2023, the hopeful year that all these prophecies go to pass. And it reads, Vladimir Putin's closest ally has threatened to unleash World War III on the West if UK send troops onto Ukrainian soil. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said on Sunday that any Brit soldiers training soldiers inside Ukraine will be legitimate targets for Russian forces and ruthlessly destroyed. It says, the Kremlin's mouthpiece furious claims were made after British Defense Secretary Grant Shapps said he was considering deploying UK troops to train soldiers inside Ukraine. Medvedev is seen as Vlad's yes man and often made blood-curdling threats aimed at NATO states. Now the lapdog's latest chilling warning is that the West's actions are bringing the world to the brink of nuclear war. He directed his fury at Shapps, who told the Sunday Telegraph that he wants to eventually deploy military instructors to Ukraine in addition to training Ukrainian troops in Britain. In a post on Telegram, Medvedev fumed the number of leading idiots in NATO countries is growing. One newly minted Cretan, the British Minister of Defense, decided to transfer English training courses for Ukrainian soldiers to the territory of Ukraine itself. These idiots are actively pushing us towards a third world war, he continued. This will turn their instructors into a legal target for any armed forces. Right? It says, understanding perfectly well that they will be ruthlessly destroyed and not as mercenaries, but namely as British NATO specialists. The presidential spokesperson also warned that German factories producing Taurus missiles would also be a target should they supply Kiev. Moscow fears that the German-made missiles could strike within Russian territory and help cut off its supplies to its army. Rishi Sunak later clarified the defense secretary's comments and shut down speculation that Brit soldiers could enter the war-torn region imminently. He said today what the defense secretary was saying was that it might well be possible one day in the future for us to do some of that training in Ukraine. That's something for the long term, not the here and now. There are no British soldiers that will be sent to fight in current conflict. More than 20,000 recruits from Ukraine have received training in the UK since the start of 2022. However, NATO members have avoided training programs in Ukraine due to the risk of personnel being targeted by Russia. Shapps said he has spoken with army chiefs about moving more training into Ukraine and called on British defense firms to set up shop in the country. The defense minister also revealed he had spoken to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky about Britain playing a more active role in the Black Sea, where Russia has targeted cargo ships. Britain is a naval nation, so we can help and we can advise, particularly since the water is international water, he said. It's important that we don't allow a situation to establish by default that somehow international shipping isn't allowed in that water. There's a lot of places where Britain can help advise, he said cryptically. He said Britain is also looking for ways to help Ukraine get in shape for membership of NATO. Earlier this month, Medvedev issued a chilling nuclear threat to the United States on the anniversary of September 11 of terrorist attacks. He wrote on Telegram, terrorists will again carry out an attack in the style of September 11, 2001, but with an atomic or biological component. Or even worse, one of the leaders of nuclear countries will lose their nerve and he will make an emotional decision to use weapons of mass destruction. He ended his ominous message with, and then that will be it, the end of the ball game. There will be only to collect money for a new monument in the neighborhood of Ground Zero at best. He said in July he threatened threat that World War III was getting closer as NATO leaders signed a new security package for Ukraine. Medvedev told an audience in Moscow that the West was to blame for taking the world to the brink of Armageddon earlier this year. He also threatened to unleash nuclear war on the collective West if Russia is defeated in Ukraine. So, yeah, as the scripture, as a, not scripture, but the article says, they threatened World War III, and some of the things that he said, actually, was true, in the sense of like, there will be a World War III. It ain't no if or this, if y'all do this or that. Like, there actually will be a World War III. But another thing he's saying is, things are going to happen by what? Provocation, right? They're not just going, it's the Lord going to set it up to the spirit how it's going to go, but they're not just going, Russia's just not going to act, ignorantly in the sense or whatever the case may be. The Lord has just strategically how it's going to happen. Like they going to say, that's what they saying, like if Britain did this, but then you got the guy saying, well, Britain ain't planning to send nobody over there, but then they talked about setting up shop, this and that. You see a lot of rhetoric, a lot of, confusion here and there. But the main point of this is a threat and provocation that, hey, that could, of World War III, which you ultimately know is going to happen. But one thing that that's one thing that we can count on. So they can send their threats, they can say this, they can say that. Russia has definitely been, definitely been that top dog when it comes to threats. America done said what they said, but normally when they say stuff, a lot of, nations, tend to cower. They don't really want that smoke. But at the end of the day, even though they don't want it, they gonna have to, that smoke they gonna be presented to them because why? The Lord gonna put the hooks in the jaws, Gog and Magog, which is Russia, and all the, the countries that's band up with them and allied with them, and the Lord gonna ultimately lead that offensive by Russia, So we understand through prophecy that that's gonna happen. So some people may, I've been at the plantation and some people been, speaking about, I think it's gonna be a World War, Third World War. I think it's gonna be this. I think it's gonna be that. So you saying you think? We actually know through the spirit that you have about you, Shai, right? But nonetheless, we're gonna get into it. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? As we have wars going on, like it's talking about the Russian-Ukrainian situation. You got this proxy wars in the Middle East, tensions in the South China Sea, tensions between, North Korea, China, Taiwan, Japan, Australia, it's tensions, all around. Wars going on as well. But also rumors of wars, right? So a rumor is what? A statement made that has yet to prove to be true or false. And we understand that the rumor that World War III gonna come to pass is not necessarily a rumor, but it could be a rumor right now, but it's gonna be made to be true through the prophecies of Yahweh Bashim Shai. It says, see that ye be not troubled. So when you hear of nations talking about World War III or sending missiles or sending that, or it's gonna be nuclear this, nuclear that, whatever the case may be, hey, it say, be not troubled. The Lord said, be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass. See, if you of the hopeful elect, Lord won't be at that number, and we hope it to be delivered, hey, we understand that these things must come to pass before we receive deliverance. World War III has to happen before you receive deliverance, right? The MOT got to happen before you receive deliverance. Jacob's trouble got to happen before you receive deliverance, so forth and so on. We understand that these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, right? It ain't the end until what? Ultimately, after you get beamed up and the rest of the destruction, after the salvation is done, at the same time the destruction is done of this current eon, this current world that Esau Edom. When you got the coronation ceremony, so forth and so on, that's when it's over with. But until you make it to that point, hey man, look, perilous times shall come. We in the beginning of sorrows, as the rest of the scripture goes on, say, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdoms. You got to be living on the rock if you don't think nations are against each other or out at each other's throat, sending threats here, sending threats there. Building up their nuclear stockpile, building up their naval armory, they aerial armory, land armory as far as like tanks and jets and boats and stuff. Right, these things are apparently going on. Like it's apparent that these things are going on. Doing war games, drills, so forth and so on. They're not doing that for shits and giggles and for play. No, they saddled up and getting ready for war. Because we know that World War III is part of the prophecy that you have about Shem Shai, right? They say, and there shall be famine, right? Lack of food, lack of whatever, lack of a commodity, so forth and so on. Pestilences, more sicknesses, more disease going out, earthquakes in diverse places, earthquakes going off every single day. All these, right, are the beginning of sorrows. These are the beginning of sorrows or these bad times, right? Let's see, they don't want to make it too long. It's at 11 and 14. As it reads, Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, it said the second woe was past, right? What? World War II is past, right? It already happened. And behold, third woe cometh quickly. Man, the third world war is around the corner, it's even at the door, right? So when they saying that they threatening this and that, and they're gonna provoke World War III or World War III gonna happen this and that, it's set in stone to happen as far as the Lord prophecies. So there will never be a time period where tensions get bad, and then they all meet each other, have diplomatic, talks, and we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that. That's not a part of the Lord's prophecies. What's a part of the Lord's prophecies? What? For that third world war to actually happen, right? We understand it's gonna happen. And another indicator, like I said, I ain't gonna take it too long, but here's another indicator of that thermonuclear war is going to happen. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5, it says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, as you could watch in movies like Troy, 300, you know what I mean? Like some of those older films where it showed the people screaming, they got their garments rolled up, swords bloody, claws bloody, so forth and so on. But but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, right? The fuel propelled, jets, the fuel propelled rockets, that's supposed to be gonna be in the guiding system of, the fueling system that propel the rockets, the ICBMs that go up in the air and get shot where they gonna go, right? That's burning and fuel of fire, man. That's those thermonuclear warheads. Accompanied also with the concentrated laser beams, right? So this right here is an indicator that, well, what the hell that's supposed to be? Well, that's an indicator of what? Oh, the World War III being fought with missiles. Yeah, you may have, your skirmishes with tanks and, jets and stuff like that. They got the Space Force, Navy, this and that. But mainly, man, why people don't want World War III to happen, because they know that those nukes going to get sent off. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing they can do. That's part of the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So again, like I said, they got these threats being made. Ultimately, the talk of World War III, man, again, that's part of the Lord's prophecies. And hey, that's what we do. We hasten the coming of Yahweh Shema Shai, so we can be delivered out of this oppression, out of this captivity. And be restored, to our rightful estate. Reign and righteousness forever and forevermore. Right? But Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the sincere brothers and sisters out there listening. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the abundance of our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, especially the great gospel of sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abad, Babal.